All right, welcome to the PBN Network series. If you don't know what PBN stands for, it stands for Private Blog Network. Now, throughout my affiliate marketing career, I've done tens of millions of dollars in commissions from affiliate marketing, probably over $100 million in sales. If it wasn't for my PBN network, I would be nowhere near that. They are extremely powerful, okay? Now, PBNs are something I've been doing for well over 10 years now. And throughout those last 10 years, I've sold a lot of courses on building PBNs and showing people how to use them and implement them. And my students have had tremendous success from using PBNs. It's really elevated their SEO game. The reason I'm telling you this is because I'm putting out information that I've previously sold for probably millions of dollars in courses and cumulatively, and I'm going to give it to you for free on YouTube. This series is going to cover A to Z everything you need to know about PBNs. Now, this first video is going to be an introduction. We're kind of talking about what they are. I want to show you why they're so powerful and why you should start building them. And then from there, we're going to actually start going into how to do it all, right? A to Z, how to find them, how to build them, how to set them up, how to do your hosting, how to do your spreadsheets, what type of anchor text to use. Everything you need to know about PBNs is going to be in this series. Now, how in-depth I go just depends on how you guys respond to this first video. If it's something I get a good reaction from, I'll go in granular detail, right? If it's something that people are kind of like, I get a few comments, well, I'll cover it still, but I'll just make sure to cover the basics and take it from there and kind of answer questions as we go. But if you want like very granular, every single little step of the way, make sure you comment and let me know, right? I need to know that you guys are interested in this and that people want to put in the work to build their own PBN networks. Now, for those of you who want to get PBN style links quickly, you can also use the link provider below. Extremely powerful links, and he's one of the only people I know that offers homepage links. These are just like PBN network links, but they're actually a little stronger because his sites have more authority and more traffic. So even though I have my own PBN network, I actually still use his homepage links because they can really push the needle. So sometimes, like when I have a client, instead of using a PBN link, I'll actually use his homepage links because they're more authoritative and they're more trusted because they're real sites. And I'll use a homepage link from there because it's a little more safe. Now, I'm going to show you how to be completely safe with PBN networks, okay? I'm going to show you how to make sure the site's safe to use. I'm going to show you how to do like penalty checks and all that, like manually. So you will safely know how to build PBNs and be very effective with them. But there is certain cases where I won't use PBNs like for clients just because it has a negative annotation to it, and it does have a little more risk attached to it. But we'll talk about all that throughout this series. Again, little details like that I can talk about if the interest is there. If not, if I don't get a big response from this video, we'll just kind of stay more on the surface and I'll show you the basics where you'll be able to build your own PBN network by the time this is done, all right? But if I get a good response, lots of comments, people interested, we'll go in granular detail. I'll do this as long as you guys want. So let's talk about first what a PBN network is. So a PBN network is a group of sites that you own where we buy them because they were previously owned and we harness their power for our own purposes. So for example, let's say there was a restaurant in my town that went out of business. Well, this restaurant had a website, right? Here's the website that they had. All the links are still pointing to that domain, okay? That domain that's going to auction, it still has power to it. Even though the website isn't there anymore, the domain is still there, which still has links on the internet pointing to it. So that means that domain is powered. So we can buy that domain at auction and harness that power by putting up a new website and then linking out to whatever we want. So when it comes to a PBN network, we're buying domains that are pre-powered because they have links going to them already. So a lot of people think like, well, why would someone let that domain go then? Well, again, they could have went out of business. They could have forgot to renew it. They could have died. They could have passed away. It could be anything. There's a lot of reasons that domains don't get renewed. But these domains that we're going to be picking up have power because they have previous links built to them. Some of them are like organizations that have like government links and education links, .edu links. So they're pre-powered. We just buy those domains that have power. It's like this ball of power that's not being used. We build a new website so we can harness the power, and then we link out to transfer that power to where we want it to go. So that's kind of what a PBN network is. It's a group of websites that are pre-powered that we can use to harness their power for whatever we want. So we're kind of like Superman in that case. And it really does feel like it once you start doing them and you start seeing the results and how powerful they are. So why are PBN networks so powerful? Well, I'm going to use my friend Chuck Norris as an example. So here's Chuck right here. Okay, Chuck is a big square, right? Chuck, if Chuck does something, it has a lot of pull, right? Anything Chuck does, recommends, is a big stamp of approval. For example, if Chuck recommends a restaurant, that restaurant is going to get a lot of added customers, right? People are really going to trust what Chuck says because Chuck's a big name. Everyone knows Chuck. If he recommends something, it comes with a lot of trust. Now, let's say we also have Chuck Norris's brother, a little smaller circle here. So Chuck Norris's brother, he does pull some trust from his brother, right? Like, he's not some random person. He is Chuck Norris's brother. So he gets a little bit of trust from his brother just because he's Chuck's brother. If he recommends a restaurant, it's going to have a small impact, right? People, they probably will pick up a little bit of business because Chuck Norris's brother recommended him. Nothing like when Chuck recommended, because Chuck is the main authority figure. If his brother recommends, yeah, he pulls some authority from his brother, from Chuck, but it's nowhere near what Chuck does. Now, this is the same exact thing when it comes to a homepage link, which is right here. That's Chuck Norris. He's the homepage link. And Chuck Norris's brother, which is the inner page link, okay? That's a major difference when you're getting your links. A homepage link, which is a link that is on the home page of a website, which is where most of the power is a Chuck Norris link. That's a huge recommendation because that's where all the trust is, on the home page. If you have a website and they have all this traffic and they have all these people pointing to them, they have a lot of trust, and they decide to put a link to your website on their home page, that's a big trust factor. Because if they're willing to link out to you from their home page, which is like their home base, that means you are very important to them. And if you're very important to them and they're very important to other websites, that importance transfers. The inner page link is just like Chuck Norris's brother, right? The inner page pulls some authority from the home page because it's a little brother of the home page, right? It's a little extension of the home page. But these home page links don't get nearly as much pull as the home page does because that's where a lot of the authority is. Yes, it does kind of leech off the authority, just like Chuck's brother leeches off his authority of his name and his brand, but it still is nowhere near as powerful as Chuck himself. And that's the difference between a homepage link and an inner page link. Think of Chuck and Chuck's brother. Who do you want a recommendation from, Chuck? Or do you want a recommendation from Chuck's brother? I'll take both, but if you're picking one, it's going to be from Chuck. Now, when I'm building my links, I like to get a mix. I like to get, it's not natural to have a whole bunch of Chuck links, like just Chuck type links, but you want to get a mix of both. And in most cases, the more Chuck style links you get, well, the more it's going to do for you. So if I have a link if I have a recommendation, let's say my business gets a recommendation from Chuck Norris, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, my business is going to have a lot of credibility. If all these superstars, all these really authoritative people are recommending my business is going to start blowing up naturally. It's the same thing with links. If you're getting a homepage link from a whole bunch of big websites, let's say you get a homepage link from Google and Yahoo and Forbes, dude, you're going to crush it because you have all these super authoritative places linking to your website. Now, if I get a link from Chuck Norris's brother, Oprah's third cousin, Jay-Z's, second step brother, it's going to help me out. There's recommendations that have some authority attached to them, but nothing like the first case. That is why PBN networks are so effective because we're getting homepage links, the root authority links, okay? And that's what a PBN network does for you. Again, even though I have my own PBN network and it's my biggest SEO tool, I still order homepage links from my link provider because he has bigger sites with more traffic, with more authority. So I'll use those in certain cases, like for an important client, because I know it can move the needle more and I know that it's safer in the end. With that said, I'm going to show you how to build totally safe PBN links. A lot of people don't do it safely. I'm going to show you all the pitfalls you need to avoid, all the little things you need to make sure you're doing. But again, how much detail I go in just depends on the response I get. I'm not going to go into every little detail if no one cares about it. If I get 3 comments, well, I'll still do the series, but it's going to be more surface level. If I get tons of comments and people are interested, I'll go into great detail and make sure I include every little step of the way, okay? So this is kind of like the introduction. I just want to see, number one, I wanted to introduce you to them, make sure you understood them, make sure you understand why they're so powerful. And then from here, what we're going to do is see what the response is, then we'll start moving forward and I'll see how much detail I can go in. By the way, this also can work extremely well for local and for maps rankings. I'm going to show you, I can show you the maps things. I haven't really taught this ton with the map stuff, but if you're interested, I can also show why this is so important for maps as well. This isn't just affiliate marketing. This can also do a ton for maps. And of course, organic local. Organic local with PBNs is simple. I will crush local SEO with PBNs because most local people don't use PBNs. But a lot of people don't understand how you can use a PBN network also for your maps rankings. But we can go into that later if the response is there. So hopefully you guys are excited about this. We'll see when the comments start coming in or not, how excited you are. I'm going to put this out. I'm going to kind of gauge the response, and then we'll take it from there. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next video.